Okay, let's talk about financial independence and the difference with the levels there are. So essentially, financial independence is where we have enough wealth or assets where we can use it to pay for our living expenses or a portion of our living expenses for the rest of our lives. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's your investing coach Wahidah here. Coming from a girl who works in wealth management, this is where you can learn how to invest and build wealth, even if you're the first in your family to do so. Okay, let's talk about financial independence and the difference with the levels there are. So essentially, financial independence is where we have enough wealth or assets where we can use it to pay for our living expenses or a portion of our living expenses for the rest of our lives without having to rely on a day job. Quick plug though, the easiest way we can get to our financial independence number is by investing. So this is where we're allowing our investments to give us passive income, and we can't necessarily save our way to wealth. We have to invest, and this is where we'll learn how to do it. Okay, so the cool thing with financial independence is that there's different levels. You don't have to wait until you have this huge ass amount of money invested before you take your foot off the brake, right? So there's 5 different levels we'll go over. The first one is Coast FI. So Coast Financial Independence is where you have enough invested, even if you leave it alone and let compound interest do its thing. By the time you are ready to retire, you will have hit your financial independence number. So for example, I hit Coast FI when I had my first $100,000 invested. So a few years back when I was 27. So when I did the math 3 years ago with $100,000 invested at 8% return, by the time I am 63 years old, I will have roughly $1.6 million. And you can see here on the graph as we kind of do the math. And the equations coming from, the graphs are coming from investor.gov, so it's my favorite place to go, so play around with the numbers. So roughly $1.6 million when I hit 63. This will give me an annual income of $64, essentially. And these are my financial independence number. Once I hit 1.5 million and I'm able to pull $60,000, I'm good. So hopefully not too much longer to go for me. Number 2, we have Barista FI. So this is the second type of FI, more or less. So this is where you have enough invested to cover a portion of your living expenses. Then you have to take on a part-time job to cover the rest of your costs. So both Coast FI and Barista FI rely on you to at least work part-time until you get to your traditional retirement age or even after that. So if you are considering this, just keep in mind that we don't know what the future holds. And with these plans, you are banking on the fact that your body and your mind will hold up well into your 40s and 50s and 60s, right? And we're also banking on the fact that our employers will keep us around even as we get older. So really, in my opinion, when you hit Coast FI or Barista FI, this is where you can take your foot off the gas a little. So you can stop saving and investing so aggressively, but I wouldn't stop altogether. So you can also use this as a milestone, as a safety net for taking risks in your career. Or maybe you start that business that you've been thinking of for all these years. That's kind of what I used my Coast FI for. Because essentially once you've built a financial safety net for yourself, you're able to take on more risks, right? It's not that you're braver, you just have a safety net. But with that said, with Barista FI, what others have used it for is maybe they're working part-time. Maybe they have enough funds in their investments to cover their day-to-day living, but they may not want to pay for insurance, like health insurance. Health insurance in the US is expensive, and it's a ripoff if you have to pay for it yourself. Because right now, most of us in the US, how we're getting health insurance is it's connected to our employer, and they're paying a good chunk of it. So maybe you're working part-time at a company that offers health insurance as a perk, even if you're a part-time worker. So that's a cool thing about Barista. Okay, so the third one we have is lean fi. So this is where you would have enough invested for you to cover your essential needs. So the essentials would be things like housing, food, your utility bills, like what your needs are, right? So there won't be much left over for extras. But if you expect to need less in retirement years, because maybe you're moving to a lower cost of living state, or you expect to own your own home by the time you do hit retirement years. If anything, if you're expecting to decrease your living costs, then maybe lean fi may be appealing to you, right? Maybe if you're using the number of what it costs me to live today, but I expect to live in a lower cost of living place later, then you have some wiggle room, right? Number 4, we have regular fi. So this type of fi is usually what people are referring to when they mention financial independence. This is where you have enough invested to cover the cost of your current lifestyle. So you're replacing essentially your income at 100%. So reaching regular fi allows you to walk away from your 9 to 5 without having to change your current lifestyle. All right, and number 5, we have fat fi. So fat financial independence is where you have enough invested to cover your expenses for the lifestyle that you want, and that lifestyle is going to be costing more than your current lifestyle. So fat fi may make sense for you if you plan on traveling more when you retire, or you plan on just like gifting to loved ones, or just like essentially just spending more, right? So it also is able to give you more flexibility when it comes to mitigating like market volatility, because the markets are volatile, right? And so if you find yourself in a more conservative space in risk tolerance area, then maybe shooting for a fat fi and then kind of spending within those limits or lower would give you peace of mind. Okay, so those are the 5 types of financial independence. Comment below which one you are aiming for. And also, as I even ask you for that, as I list out all of these financial independent rungs you can reach, I do want to give a caveat that I'm not actually necessarily trying to reach any of these FIRE categories in particular. Like, I do want to be financially independent sooner rather than later, yes. So the financial independence part of things really does appeal to me. Yes, that's for sure, right? And with a net worth of $300,000 right now at the age of 30 years old, I'm well on my way. But I also know that I will probably work my entire life. So even if I don't have to work, I feel like I will still want to give back to society in a meaningful way. So whatever job that may be, I still can earn an income. So I'm not as concerned about trying to save and invest as much as possible, because honestly, frankly, it feeds into my scarcity mindset of having to like squirrel away anything extra that I have. And we're trying to walk away from that, right? So I'm wanting to make a conscious effort to learn how to spend now, to learn how to rest my body now. So there is a balance to it all. But with that all said, thank you everyone so much for joining me. I truly do enjoy being able to speak with everyone and having this audience. So thank you so much. Come back again for new and great videos next week. And I will see you later. Bye.